I am expecting good gains for Tesla tomorrow, partially because of FOMO and other things that will be happening this week, some event coming up later this week. So I would expect everything that's going on right now should give us some gains tomorrow and later in the week. In the meantime, Elon will be in Israel. That can't hurt. Folks are lining up to see the Cybertruck in showrooms, and that can't hurt. And generally positive fundamentals underpinning all aspects of recent performance. Yeah. So as we're looking at the pre-market right now, it's off a little bit. The only reason that and the bonds are off a little bit, meaning the rates are up on the 10-year. The only thing I can think about is that we got the CPE also coming this week. And that is, of course, always worrisome to the market. And maybe that's what's driving the bonds being off. Maybe that's what's driving stocks being off. There's also, 27 Fed governors and the chairman and everybody else speaking this week, which is also commonly a problem. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Right now, the bonds are still holding under 4.5% on the 10-year. We'll see. I'll check it at the end, of course, as always. This is Randy Kirk. This is the time when you hit like and then subscribe and then notify. What do we got coming up? Well, regular programming in the morning, which everybody seems to enjoy. And then we've got, of course, Brian White on Monday around 11:30 as usual. And then tomorrow night, we've got Larry Goldberg. So you're going to want to be notified about all three of those. And then you're down to 24 hours or just a little over 30 hours to go, where this is still only going to cost you $20, even if you only buy one. And the numbers are huge. Thank you very much for participating in this sale. I'm going to have to reorder tomorrow because I've already blown through the last order that isn't even here yet. So this is your chance. Take your best shot because prices go back up on Tuesday. What else can I tell you? Oh, yes. Please let me know, whether you want the regular or whether you want the camo. And if you're outside the country, add $20 additional for freight. Don't forget about Patreon. We also need folks to join Patreon too. All right. Elon Musk gets a ton of criticism for his miscues on X and elsewhere. And yeah, okay, it's fair game. But nobody has the ability to pull off a hugely positive PR moment like his does. So he's just going to jump in a jet, head on over to Israel again, go see Bibi and see Israeli President Herzog. And they're going to do this meeting in order to emphasize the need to act against rising anti-Jewish hate. That's what they're going to be talking about, and how Elon can help with that on X, how Elon can be an ambassador for that point of view worldwide. This is because they know he's such an anti-Semite. That's why they're inviting him over, right? Anyway, he's going to be meeting. That's the plan right now is Bibi and then Herzog, and then he's also going to be going into an area near the zone, and then he's maybe going to be talking to some families of folks who have already had their loved ones returned from the Hamas terrorists. Anyway, Elon is that's what he's going to be doing in Israel tomorrow. That can't hurt the stock. That can't hurt the impression of the Tesla brand as well as the X brand, etc. Well, meanwhile, the Kobayashi letter says that he gives a list of the most shorted stocks by dollar amount, and Tesla is leading the gang by almost double, 16.9 billion in shorts, with RTX Corp second at 9.1 billion and ExxonMobil at 7.5 billion. Now, Elon responded to this particular post on X, and he said they're gluttons for punishment. Now, I don't want to make too much about this, but in the past, when he has made a statement about the shorts, it has been a time when he believed the stock was undervalued and also when there might have been news coming. So we know there's news coming on Thursday. So I would hope and think that he expects Thursday to be a very positive day, but maybe he's really excited about it. Anyway, again, I wouldn't buy stock based on it, but if I was sitting here with a pile of cash right now, I would be buying stock in Tesla. The current rollout of Cybertruck to showrooms is only at the 5% level so far. So 20 times more showrooms are going to be receiving the Cybertruck over the next days and weeks. That means the excitement will just continue to build as they ship them to more and more locations. Now, as noted here and elsewhere, there are lines out the door at a lot of these locations. And what is that doing? That's just creating more and more excitement about the thing. And it's, we're going to end up having news articles in local publications and local online situations. You're going to be hearing about this everywhere, and that's not going to hurt. So people are going into those showrooms. Now, what are they doing? Well, they're having to stand behind a barrier. They've got a roped off area. You can't even get in the car yet, and yet they're standing in line to see it. While they're there, some of them also have an Optimus on display. And then, of course, they've got Model 3s and Model Ys, maybe S's and X's. And so, check those out too. Maybe they haven't seen those before. Can't hurt a bit. The halo effect is already starting. And I think that the stock market is going to see this as being tremendously good halo effect activity. Finally, of course, as mentioned up above, the FOMO regarding Thursday should also be impacting the stock this week. Most folks expect to see a sell-off on either Thursday or Friday after the event because, selling on the news or because something happened that didn't meet expectations. I'm not going to make any predictions about this, but if the only two things really left to know that I think could be hugely impactful would be price and range. And I'm just guessing those are going to be within reason. And then, of course, there could be positive surprises. So I'm not sure there'll be a sell-off on Friday, but maybe. I'm not saying there won't be. Kind of depends on how much we run up between now and then. And then Elon responded. Grok took 2 shots at him, and he responded to these 2 shots. On the first one, they asked Grok, he said, what could Elon do to improve his performance? And Grok said, focus. That was good. And then Grok was also asked to define Elon in one word. He chose overrated, to which Elon responded, accurate. So anyway, I thought those were fun. Okay, what's happening this week in finance? As you know, this is going to be a big week. We have, starting on Monday, we have new home sales at 10 o'clock. So that'll be after I do my show on Monday. So I won't be able to report that until Monday night when Larry's on. So we'll be talking about new home sales. Those are expected to decline. Of course they are. It is November. It's it's not going to be, well, I guess it's October numbers, but they would have already started to decline in October. So this will be no surprise. I guess, I don't know whether they're seasonally adjusted, but maybe not. Then we continue with the home stuff on Tuesday. We have the Case-Shiller Home Price Index coming in. Nobody's guessing on that one. I guess they didn't do a survey. Last month, it was up 2.2%. Maybe this dash means that they're expecting it to be flat. I'm not sure which it's saying there, but I'm going to say that, yes, home prices for October should probably be flat. That might be a good guess. Consumer confidence last month was 102.6, so that was a little positive. They're saying consumer confidence will be dropping to 101. Based on some of the other consumer confidence surveys we've seen recently, that might be a good guess that it would come down a bit. Then we have a bunch of Fed speakers on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, we get into the first revision of the GDP. You may remember it came in at 4.9 on the first go-around, the first prediction. The street believes it will stay at 4.9. I'm not sure on that. I have no reason to know one way or the other whether it might go up or down. And then we have the U.S. trade balance in goods. They're not making a prediction on that. If it is much up or down, it could have some minor effect on the markets, but I'm not expecting to have much. Then we've got more Fed. We've got Loretta Mester speaking that day, and then the Fed Beige Book. Now, that'll be later in the day, so we'll report that Thursday night in the Good News Thursday edition. And that, by the way, this week might include Brad Ferguson. I'm not sure whether he's coming this week or whether his first time will be the following week. Then we have Friday. That is the big day, okay? So we have initial jobless claims expected to go up a little bit from last week. I don't know if that's hopium or if that's based on anything in reality. But anyway, we'll see from 209 the previous week to 218 is what they're expecting. Then we have personal income. They're expecting that to only go up 0.2%. The Fed would like that a lot. That would be lower than their hope for case of 3% per year. We've got personal spending. They're expecting that to come in at 0.2, which would be a little higher maybe than the Fed would like at 2.4% for the year on an annualized basis. Anyway, so those would be good numbers. So we can live with both of those. The PCE index coming in at 0.4 last month. Now that would be the headline index. It looks like maybe they're expecting that to stay about the same. The core PCE index, which is the number one thing we believe the Fed looks at in order to make decisions, they're expecting that to come in at 0.2%. That would be down from 0.3% last time. That would be solid. That would be a very good thing. That would be, again, a 2.4% annualized if it kept going at that level. PCE year over year was 3.4, and they're expecting that to stay even. And then the core PCE year over year dropping from 3.7 to 3.5. All of that, if any of that comes true, the markets should react very positively, and bonds yields should fall pretty much, I would expect. Then we got more New York, the New York Fed President John Williams speaking that day. Then we get the Chicago Business Barometer, the Purchasing Managers Index. They're expecting that to go up a little bit. All right, that's interesting because Chicago, not sure, can't remember what the Fed Chicago thing was. Anyway, and then pending home sales, they're expecting that to go from 1.1% positive to a negative 1.5. Again, seasonally, yes, I would expect that number to drop fairly significantly in this report. Now we got more Friday, more Fed folks speaking. We've got the ISM manufacturing report. They're expecting that to pop up a little bit. That's interesting. And then construction spending to stay even at 0.4%. And then even Jerome Powell gets in the action on Friday. He'll be speaking. Larry and I will talk about what Jerome had to say on Friday night's Good News Friday. And then that's it. So we have in addition to all of those things happening next week, of course, we have OPEC's decision on Thursday, maybe, okay, whether or not they're going to be able to continue the cuts, whether they're going to go deeper with the cuts. We'll see what happens on Thursday. And then we've got the Cybertruck handoff on Thursday. Oh, you already knew that, right? Okay. So let's see where markets are right now. Let's see. We have got the regular pre-market numbers down right now across the board. NASDAQ futures down 0.3, S&P futures down 0.2, and Dow futures down 0.16. If you put those into dollars, it'd be NASDAQ down $47, the S&P down $9, and the Dow futures down 57. So down pretty much across the board. Well, definitely across the board. We've got the Bitcoin sitting at 37.5, been in that trading range for quite a while. We've got the dollar easing off a little bit. Black Friday was excellent. So maybe some of this, it wasn't phenomenal, but it was excellent. So maybe some of this activity has to do with worries that the Fed will see that as being a problem. I don't know. We've got gold prices still over 2,000, down barely at 20 cents off. And then we've got oil up barely, still sitting at about $75, $75.50. Then we've got this one. We've got the 10-year up now, just under 3 basis points at over 4.5%. That's not what I want to see. Of course, probably not what you want to see either, unless you happen to be betting that way. All right, we've got the 2-month is up also almost 2 basis points, and the 2-year up 2.5 basis points. So all of them are up, all of them, which means the bonds are selling down. There's no demand for these bonds. Now, we've got some bond sales this week, so maybe people are a little worried about those too, whether there'll be enough takers for all of that. But we'll see. I hate to see this back over 4.5 again. I would really hate to see it heading back towards 5, wouldn't you? All right, so that's what we've got. So remember to hit like and subscribe and notify, especially right now. Like. Remember to hit like. We need those likes. Okay, and then we need you to like these. We know you do. You got, only 30 hours to go here or so to make your purchase at $20 a piece. Doesn't matter how many you buy, one or a whole bunch, $20. Okay. Sold a whole bunch the last couple of days on Amazon at $29.95. So you're getting a deal and a half. So purchase them now, or don't cry to me on Tuesday when you got to pay $25. Anyway, that is about all we've got time for. It's been great talking to you. Look forward to talking to you tomorrow. See you then.